Okay. Hi, Diane.
Hi.
How are you doing this week?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. We talked last week about your job interview or your job evaluation, and your boss was a little bit worried that you started crying at one point. Um, did you think about what we talked about last week, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I did think about it. I think I might have overreacted a little bit by crying, but I just felt my job is really important to me, and I want to do well, and I have a lot of other things going on, so I think just like that on top of everything, I just kind of, I don't know, I just like couldn't really control my emotions, but I'm embarrassed that I cried in front of my boss.
Mm-hmm. Because he indicated that most of your review was excellent, and there was just one thing that they pinpointed as needing improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hearing you say that you're embarrassed that you cried and regret that.
Yeah. I mean, the more, like, after meeting with you last week and, like, thinking about it more, I was able to, like, think about a lot of the positive things that they said. I think it was just, like, in that moment, I was just overwhelmed, and it was just too much. Like, I just couldn't take that one negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like it's even more negative because I reacted that way, and I should be able to take feedback. So
well, we all have bad days. But you also mentioned that you feel like you're in a dead-end job and that you're going nowhere in it. And we talked about your graduate school pursuits, but they didn't pan out. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I grew up in Canada, like I think I mentioned that last week, and my dream was always to get my doctorate in chemistry. That's what I really wanted, like, throughout like high school, and that's what I worked for in college, and then I got into a program in the United States, and it was like one of the best programs, and so I moved my whole life from Canada to here to be in the program, and I don't know, I got through like 2 years of it, and I just became frustrated with like going to school, and I felt like I wasn't like really starting my life. Like, I feel like I was getting old, and you know, I was going to be in grad school like forever, and all my friends were already working. So I don't know, I just kind of gave up on it, and I decided to leave, and that's where I took this job as a lab technician. But now that I've been in this for a while, there's really not any room for me to like go anywhere. And I wish I had my doctorate, because that would have opened so many doors in the field, but I'm kind of like stuck where I am. So it's really frustrating.
So you were succeeding in your program, is what I'm hearing. You just became frustrated with the amount of time that it was taking.
Yeah, I just was frustrated with, like, I felt like I kept like comparing my life to like other people, and my friends all like had already been working for years, and I was still in school. And, like, by the time I had finished my doctorate, it would have been like already in my like early 30s, and I just felt like that was too late to start my career. So I kind of gave up on that dream just to like get into it. It wasn't that I like didn't like the program, and I actually was doing pretty well. So I regret not just like sticking it out, because now I've been working for years, and it's not really all like I thought it would be.
Okay. So you're feeling some remorse about the decision that you made. of the opinion that nothing is forever. How do you see yourself moving forward? Would you think about going back?
I don't know. I've thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like now, I don't even know if like the years that I did would like count. I don't know if I'd have to start all over again. And now I'm even older. Now I'm 35, so I'm just like, I don't know. And I don't have like a family yet. I don't have like any of that stuff. So I just feel like if I go back to school, I like won't be able to accomplish other things in my life. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay. So most of the decisions that you're making about whether or not to go back are from your head. You haven't actually had a conversation with the school about what it would take for you to dive back in, whether you would lose credits or whether you would be able to move ahead, or all of those things are still up in the air. Can you think of a way that you might tie that up and decide where you want to be, or how you want to move forward?
Yeah, I've thought about maybe reaching out to the program that I was in. I mean, it's been a couple of years, but I don't know, it's just like every time I don't know, I feel like I kind of go between like having goals and like wanting to do these things, and then just like times of being like really sad. So every time I like start to think of, oh, I should reach back out, like, and see, what the steps would be if I did want to return, I feel like I just get hit with a period of like being sad and depressed, and then I don't know, it's kind of like a cycle.
Mm-hmm. So you're feeling sad and depressed, generally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
For the reasons of you don't see the job that you're in going anywhere. And how, tell me about your friendships and your social activities and the community that you engage in. What does that look like?
Well, I would say over the years my friendships have kind of like dwindled because I've ever since like moving to the United States, when I first moved here, I started a grad program, and that's where I kind of like met people because I didn't know anyone really in this country. And then when I decided to leave the grad program, I kind of like lost touch with some of them. And now, like, a lot of them finished and have moved on with their lives and live in different areas of the country. And in my work as a lab technician, I'm not really getting a lot of, like, social interaction. So it's kind of hard. I don't really have, like, a lot of people to go out and do things with, and my family's all in Canada. But I do like to do, like, exercise and stuff, so I try to, like, do stuff like that on the weekends. But yeah, it's hard to like meet people
Mm-hmm.
my age.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're feeling lonely.
Mm-hmm.
What was your community and family and social life like in Canada?
It was really busy. Like in high school, I like had a good group of friends. I played soccer, so I had like friends from that. I was always like super busy, and my family was really close growing up. We've always gotten along well. I did have a bit of a hard time in high school because my dad had to be hospitalized a few times for leukemia, so that was like hard to go through. But my family like stayed close through that. So I had, I guess, a lot more social support there than I do now. So
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Do you see yourself in the future moving back to Canada, or are you pretty much committed to staying in the U.S.?
I don't know. I moved here for that program, and for the opportunities here, just because I feel like the things that I'd want to do in the field, I would have like a lot more luck doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll edit this out. Sorry, I just wanted to turn off. And so I'm kind of torn because part of me wants to move back so I am close to my family and have more of a community, but at the same time I'm not like ready to give up on my dream of pursuing chemistry here in the United States.
So chemistry is still a commitment of yours. Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was, but I guess so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you spoken with the folks at work to let them know that you're unhappy with your job as a technician?
I have, but there's not really like a lot of room to move up there. Most of the positions above what I'm in would require an advanced degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I left like almost halfway through my grad program, so unfortunately I like just missed even getting the master's, so I only have a bachelor's in chemistry, and basically lab technician is like the highest I can go at the place I'm at right now. So
okay. Do you know whether they have any kind of tuition reimbursements?
Oh, I don't know. Sure.
You might want to check that out with, I'm not sure who you would check it out with, Human Resources perhaps, to see whether while you work you could take some night classes. Would that appeal to you?
Yeah, I think that would be like a good way to ease me in. I don't really do much after work, so there's not really like a reason why I couldn't.
It might be a good way to meet some new people too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to meet some more people, and I just I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of like stuck in a rut where I am, but I don't I want to move forward, but it's hard to take the steps to do that.
Okay. Maybe that's something that we could work on. What do you think a first step might be in that process?
I guess the first step would be reaching out to my old program and asking, would I have to reapply? Is there any chance you'd be interested in having me back? And if not, could you maybe recommend me somewhere else? Or I don't know. I feel like my first step would be to reach out to them, because I did have good connections with some of the faculty there.
Yeah. I think you might be surprised to learn how they feel about you, because you got good grades, you're a personable person, you present yourself well, and I think they'd be looking, I don't know, but from what I know of you in the short time that we've known each other, I think that they would be very pleased to have you back. So I would think about that. Yeah, and maybe touching base with whoever you need to at work to see if there are any reimbursement programs, because I know I have a nephew who was teaching school and got a master's degree at the same time, and the school system paid for it. So I don't know why it wouldn't be possible in industry for that to happen, even more so because it's a for-profit situation. So it might be worth looking into. And it sounds as though, because you got a good job review with only one criticism, that wasn't really that big. I mean, you took it hard, but it seems as though the company that you're working for is very happy with you. And how do you feel about staying with them and being promoted through the ranks as you progress?
I think if I could be promoted, I'd be happy to stay there. I think it's just almost, I feel like I took that criticism really hard because I'm not doing what I want to be doing, and I'm doing something I almost feel like it doesn't really like challenge me. It's really easy for me. And I just feel like I'm not like contributing anything with my life. Like, you know, like kind of like what's the point? Like, what am I really doing? So then to like be criticized on a job that to me is so like, I don't know, I just come in, do it, and then I leave. It just was like kind of a blow to my like confidence, because I had been thinking about, you know, going back to school and all that. So it just like, I took it really hard, because then I was like, well, if I am criticized as a lab technician, like how am I ever going to get my PhD and move up there? So
yeah, you sound a little bit frustrated with the whole thing, and the depression. You know, and that didn't start when you moved here. That started when your dad was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And you're not on any kind of medication for any antidepressants?
No. Like I said, I first became, I guess, depressed, you would say, when my dad was diagnosed with leukemia and he had to be like hospitalized for long periods of time. So that's when I first started to have like issues with, you know, like mood and sadness. But I actually did in high school see a therapist, and that helped a lot. So I never like needed medication. That kind of got me through that time, and I haven't really felt that depressed since then.
Okay.
Except for maybe
Good.
now.
Good. So you aren't thinking about harming yourself?
No.
Okay.
I don't have like suicidal
thoughts.
I just sometimes kind of feel like, you know, like what's the point? And I think I feel that way because I just feel like I'm not doing anything with my life. So I would never like take my life. I just some days feel really down, like what's the point of my life?
Right. Okay. So you're looking for a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because I don't have a husband, I don't have kids. Like I just feel like I need to do something. Like I'm not contributing in any way right now. I'm not a mom. I'm not really doing anything at work. So. Well,
I'm not sure you're not doing anything. You're a technician in a pharmaceutical company, and that's not nothing. You're contributing, in my opinion. But if you don't feel like you're contributing, then that's a problem. And I think we can work on that. I think that, you know, you have a couple of plans. One is to touch base with the school that you have had left to see if they would be willing, what it would take to get you to come back. And the other thing is to check in with your company to see if they have any kind of tuition reimbursement programs, so that if you took classes at night, and most graduate school classes are at night, and experiments that you would be doing, you could do on your own time. They may even allow for a space for you to run experiments at work. I don't know. But that's worth looking into as well, I would think. So you have some plans. Yeah. So your ultimate plan is to be a wife and a mother?
Well, I don't know. I think I just have like a desire to be doing like something, you know, like just to wake up in the morning and have a purpose. And like, I feel like that could be found through like having a family and having like kids. Like to me, that would be purposeful, but like I don't have, right now I'm not like seeing anyone, so I don't really know like if that's in the cards for me. So I just kind of feel like if that's not the route or the road I'm going to go down, then I want to make sure at least on the career front I have something.
I understand that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
A plan B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I would feel a lot better about myself if in one of those ways, like I had a purpose either as like that family role or in work. At least a purpose in work until I find a family. I don't know. I just feel like right now I wake up in the morning and I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
And if you had that purpose, if you were working toward a goal that you want to achieve, and it sounds as though you left something unfinished that needs to be finished, how would that feel?
Not great, I think. I think I already do feel that way because I didn't finish my doctoral program. And like it just, when I made the decision to leave, I thought I was going to be happy because I was going to be like everyone else and be working and making money and like supporting myself on my own. And then like after like a year and realizing I wasn't really going anywhere, I was like really mad at myself for giving up on my dream because my dream had always been to get a PhD and to, do research and to teach students in chemistry. That's like what I always wanted, and like I just like quit just because I was comparing myself to other people. So I feel like now I'm kind of at a crossroads, and I have luckily enough, I have like the financial stability and stuff to go back to school at this point. And I don't want to, I already gave up on the dream once. I don't want to like do it again. Just because I'm like scared. But,
okay. I'm of the opinion it's never too late to reinvent ourselves. And you're not even reinventing yourself. You're just completing your invention. I mean, the goal that you always had is still a goal that you are holding onto. And I think that's encouraging. And how would that affect your depression? If you were to begin steps in that direction, how do you think you would feel?
I think...
Would that lift your spirits is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think it would. I think I'm just worried about, like, once I'm in the program, like, kind of, powering through it, because it is a long road to get there. So I feel like it would initially lift my depression. I think I just would have to keep myself, like, going through it and not let myself get defeated by the fact that I still have, like, a long way to go.
Right. Time passes, whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
So, if you had stuck with your program, you'd be there by now. So if you go back, those are years that are well served because you'll come out with what you ultimately wanted from the beginning. That sounds like a goal worth pursuing.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm just like nervous.
Of course. But it sounds like you've grown since the last try. That you have a better sense of yourself and what you want, and that you're not going to let other people's dreams and pursuits and happiness interfere with your goals. And I think that's growth. And I'm really proud of you for that. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I think I just was very caught up in what everyone else my age was doing and where I should be, and I don't know. I just got trapped in that comparison.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
You were young and didn't know what you didn't know, and now you're older and ready to attack something different that will bring you. It may be. We don't even know. We don't even know how long the road will be because we don't know yet what will be acceptable from the past for your future in school. But I think it's worth pursuing.
Yeah.
Do you?
I do. It's something I really want. I just have to push myself to take the steps to get there. But I wish I could just fast forward and be done.
I know.
Yeah.
Of course, we all have moments in life like that. I'm just thinking how, that you will have to push yourself, and maybe we can make weekly goals and check in on how you did with those goals, kind of homework sort of thing. Because I can't imagine working and feeling depressed and then pushing yourself to do something else when you're feeling down and all you really want to do is go home and take a nap. So yeah, maybe we can set up weekly goals that kind of move you toward where you want to be. And hopefully every week you get good news and it feels better and better. And that's my wish for you.
Yeah.
I
think that would help, because I feel like I'm not going to take the steps unless I have someone to hold me accountable. And also, like, this time of year, with it being the fall, I feel like a lot of the programs have deadlines around this time, so if I don't, like, get going and actually, like, do something, I'm going to be another year behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you see the goal being for this week? Let's have you make up your homework assignment.
I guess my first goal would be to reach out to my old advisor from the doctoral program I was in, and just kind of tell him where I'm at, and ask what my options are, I guess.
Good. Okay. So let's make that this week's goal. And I'm going to check in with you next week and see how that went. Okay, great. All right. Oh, good.
If you need to pause and, like, think of... I'll make sure this is still on, because I can edit it. That's what I always do. Oh, we're 26 minutes in.
That's it.
I know, it's a long time.
Okay.
Do you want me to make up another problem?
No.
Okay.
Well, you could. But I think I'm going to talk to you about Canada. How, because it sounds like you have a lot of friends and family still back there, but you're on the east coast of the U.S. and Canada you were from the west coast. So you're a long way from home, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how often do you get back to see your parents?
Not as often as I would like. Just because it's expensive, and I don't know, I feel like I get, like, nervous to go back, because I moved here and everyone in my life, like my friends, my family, like my parents, my aunts, my uncles, everyone knew I was going to the United States to get my doctorate, and everybody was really excited about that and thought that, like, what I was doing was great. And then now I, like, came here and everyone's like, oh, I don't know, like, what are you doing?
Oh.
So
you're not just feeling like you failed yourself.
Yeah.
You're feeling like you failed your whole family.
Yeah. So I love my parents. Like, I would ideally like to spend a lot more time seeing them, especially, like, as they're, like, starting to get older, like, but it's just embarrassing. Like, every time I go back there, my mom wants to have, like, a get-together with, like, all of my extended family, and then I get, like, nailed with a bunch of questions, like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. And that just makes me feel worse.
Okay. Yeah, so you're feeling like you didn't just fail yourself and your dreams, but you failed your entire family, and it's embarrassing to go back, and you're feeling some shame around that, which isn't helpful for feelings of depression and being down.
Yeah.
That just adds to it, I would think.
Yeah, it just, like, every time I go there, I leave feeling, like, so much worse about myself, and then it takes me, like, weeks to pull myself, like, out of that when I come back. So I just feel like they all are kind of, like, judging me.
Yeah.
So I wish I would like to just, like, show up one day and be like, hey, I have my PhD now. Like, I finally did it.
Yeah. And if you got your PhD, and I think that's where you're moving, seems like it, Um, are there schools in Western Canada where you could teach and be closer to your family? Because it sounds like you really respect and it matters what they think of you and you love them and your parents are getting older and you'd like to be closer. So would that be something that you would consider or not?
Yeah, I think I was like kind of dead set on the United States when I came. I just had like an idea in my head of what it would be. But now it's been like 10 years, and in that time, I think the programs in Canada have grown, and like there are more opportunities back there. And like I said, I don't really have like a social network here, so I think like my ideal situation would be have my PhD and live and teach closer to home.
Okay. So we've got some short-term goals, which are you're going to get started on this week.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like we have some long-term goals as well that you've just pinpointed. And anything can happen in between,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Nobody knows exactly where life is taking us at times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it all?
I feel good. I just like never thought I'd be like this age and not have like, I don't know, I thought by the time I was 35 I would have my PhD, I'd have a husband, like, I don't know. So I feel like good about the next steps being planned. I just like, I don't know, I wish the timing had worked out more like I planned in my head.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. As I said, we just don't know what life has planned for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll roll with what's happening and do what we can to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like, I hope I didn't ruin my relationships at work with the reaction that I had.
I don't think so. I think that they were concerned about you, but I don't think you ruined anything because you're a good worker and you do a good job. You just were having a bad moment, and that's what I plan to report back to them. And yeah, I would not worry about that at all. They are just concerned about you and want the best for you. And I'm thinking that they'd be willing to work with you with whatever you want. We just have to find out. We just have to pinpoint what you want
Mm-hmm.
and start going after it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about your living situation. Do you have a roommate? Are you renting? Do you own a home?
I have a roommate, and we live in the city. That's why I have a roommate, because the city is super
So expensive.
So again, like not ideal. And she's like fine, but we're not. Like we get along to live together, but we're
Mhm.
very different. And I was like kind of hoping that would be like a new person I could spend time with, but I don't really enjoy spending time with her. So
Okay.
yeah.
But for the time being, living together is working okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I really would love to have my own place to come home to. You know, I like having my own space to like decompress at the end of the day, and it's like not the best, especially after feeling so frustrated at work all day, and then I come home to my roommate, like she has people over and it's loud, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a car?
I do, yeah.
Would you consider commuting?
You mean like from further
Mhm.
away? I've thought about it. Yeah, I guess I thought about that. I just don't know. I don't know. There's all the things that I picture in my mind, and then the steps that it takes to get there. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to figure out like I'd have to look for places, and
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Think about that. On the one hand, it may be nice to not have a jerky roommate.
Mm-hmm.
That's my interpretation of what you're saying about her. On the other hand, maybe changing roommates and finding someone that you would be more compatible with and be able to do things with. Is there anybody in your life that you could think that might fit that bill?
I don't know. I've been like, I really like to exercise, like I said, but most of the stuff I do is like alone. Like I like to go running or go to the gym, like just by myself. And I feel like all the time, like I feel like people make friends in spaces where they're with like-minded people. And if I could get myself to like some classes, like I don't know, yoga or like something, maybe I could meet some people that way. I just get like, I don't know, I gotta get nervous about like what people will think of me and all that.
Okay. I think that may change when you are thinking better about yourself because you've got a lot to offer. And I would like that for you. I would like you to feel better about yourself so that you're not as reluctant to meet new people because you don't know what they would think about you. Because I think you're doing a great job. You're gainfully employed. You're independent. You're attractive. You've got a steady stream of income that will help you to get through school. You know, you've got a lot going for you that I think that you should be thinking about that instead of what you're lacking or what you'd like and don't have, maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like hear those things a lot, so
yeah,
like I don't know. So I don't have like a lot of examples of like in my life of people that are at where I'm at. So again, it'd be nice to like find some more people that are similar like interests to me in similar life situations.
So maybe applying for a class at your gym would be another goal that we could work on. But we already have a goal for this week, so we'll put that off. But I think we have some work to do that will be in your favor. I'd like to see you happier. Yeah.
I'd like to feel happier.
Good. Good. All right.
7 minutes.
I quit. So let's just sum up because we're almost out of time. So you're going to contact your the head of the department in the chemistry program that you were in before and see what the likelihood is that you could come back. And that's your homework for this week. Okay.
I think I can do that.
I'm sure you can manage that. And you've got somebody to be accountable to, so procrastinating and putting it off, you can put it off until 6:00 next Wednesday, but after that, you know, I'm gonna be at 6:00 next Wednesday. I'm gonna be asking you, what did he say? How was the meeting, or the phone conversation? Yeah, hopefully you can contact him by phone and set up an appointment to meet with him, and just, you know, I don't know. How do you feel yourself approaching that? What would you say?
I don't know. Again, I'm like kind of embarrassed to like be like, hey, remember when I quit? Like, I want to come back. But I think if I just kind of reach out and say like, hi, not sure if you remember me, but I was in the program and I've been working as like a lab technician, and I've realized I do want to pursue the higher degree at this point so I can move up. I'm looking into what my options are, and I was wondering if you'd be able to like help me through a process. I don't know.
Perfect. And I would be upfront with, well, I just think honesty is the best policy, and saying I made a mistake when I dropped out. I should have stayed in, and I would have had my PhD by now, but I'd like to come back and complete what I started.
Yeah.
I would see nothing wrong with that.
You don't think they'll be it's frowned upon? Because I feel like when they accept you to a PhD program, it's all this funding, and they're they're guaranteeing you a spot, and they have faith in you. And then I just left. I feel like, you know what I mean?
They can put their faith has been delayed.
Yeah.
And you're coming back to finish what you started. I think that everybody, when they're young, make mistakes that they regret, and I think he would be foolish to let a good student go. A known entity. He knows that you're a good student. He knows the work that you do, and you were a stellar student. And would he rather have you come back with some maturity, or take an unknown entity that he doesn't really know? Mm-hmm. So I think that the ball's in your court and in your favor as far as that goes. I don't think you should be feeling as if you let them down. I think you should be feeling as though, here I am to finish what I started.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it.
I think.
And I think I'm gonna keep this on the down low and just keep it here between you and I.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell.
No, you don't need to tell
anyone,
your family or your aunts and uncles, your cousins. None of them have to know any of this until you've got it figured out. Mm-hmm. It's between us. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That would make me feel less anxious about failure. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I wish you didn't feel like a failure, because you've got so much going for you. And I'm really got my fingers crossed that everything will go well.
I hope so. It would be. I feel a lot better just thinking about the thought of.
That's great.
Having that. And
that's great.
Doing something I've always wanted to do. So.
Yep. And you mentioned earlier, if it doesn't work out with him, maybe he has a program and can transfer some of your credits to another program. So. Yeah, if he closes the door and says, I'm sorry, we're full, I can't take you, it's not the end. Mm-hmm. And so I want you to also keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good. I'm glad for you. I'll see you next week.
Yes, I'll let you know how it all goes.
Great.